Hey guys, what's going on? This is Lunchy. I'm back with another vlog. I don't usually do these because they're usually pretty cringy, but I thought this one needed to be done. And I'm actually joined here by Evan. What's going on, Evan?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, man. How are you?
So basically, based off the title, you can probably guess what the aim of this video is. Pretty much everyone in not just ANZ, but in MCC Insider has been ping locked or region locked. So this is bad because it means that, especially for us in ANZ, we can't really play matchmaking at all. And so hopefully by the end of this video, get some good points across so that you can, hopefully we can make a change and we can let 343 know what needs to be done. Basically, if you don't reach, if you're not within the certain parameters, I guess like the ping, you're not allowed to match against anyone outside of that zone. So for us, ANZ as a region, this is really bad because it means that we can't play essentially anyone outside of ANZ and maybe Japan. And they haven't actually told me how big this range is, but I've done a lot of testing. I've actually received some messages while recording this video from people from ANZ actually saying, "Oh, I can't get games. Like, what's going on?" Have you tried this out? Like, have you tried to get
Uh,
games?
I've tried it once in every successive build. So phase two and phase three, I tried that exactly when they came out. I tried it in a couple of different play tests. That first play test we played was the only one that worked, and we only had one successive lobby recycling in and out, and that was pretty bad because as soon as one person left, we couldn't play anymore.
Kind of interesting. So I made a video on basically the exact same thing a few years ago in Halo 5. So when Halo 5 launched, some of you might not know that, but when Halo 5 launched, it was actually region locked as well, or ping locked. Essentially, it was the same thing. We couldn't get games against US players, against EU players, against anyone else besides ANZ. And that's really bad because, especially in a game that's competitive and that has, I guess, like search parameters and how you rank up and, you know, who you can match, it's really hard to get games when your region is as small as ANZ. So I guess that's what we're going to talk about today. And I was actually able to get in touch with some of the people from 343 who are working on the MCC Insider build. The first question I asked is like, is there a ping lock? How does it work? And how do we get games? And I guess like the response I was given was kind of like, oh, you have to play with Americans. It doesn't seem to be like a priority on their list, which is really unfortunate because for ANZ, this could be the end of MCC.
This just won't work. So I looked up a bunch of different stats, like how Australia sits geographically and who's our reach and stuff like that, and a little bit into the internet whole side of it. But that's not really that important when you look at stuff like this. Um, so all these issues we've had with MCC since it launched, it's been laggy, it's been dropping out, like we've had crashes, etc. This will fix all of that, but if we can't connect, there's no point in like being fixed at all. It'll fix it for all other regions but ours, essentially. So when we look at like the US and Europe, the US has 5% of the whole population of the world, and Europe has 11. And that's not even counting regions that the US could connect to just around them. So you'd have like South America and Canada for the US, and then Europe you'd have other places like Russia and stuff like that close also.
Yep.
But compared comparing those countries to Australia and New Zealand, we have like 0.4% of the population of the world. So if you're looking at just straight on stats, we probably have 40 times less the amount of people population wise searching if you're just looking at it like that. So there is no way that we could split that between 8 or so playlists and then split that between rankings, which is probably another 5 times split. You couldn't fit that many people into the game from Australia. There's no, it's just, it's actually unbelievable to think that they think that this could work. It won't.
Yeah, basically, yeah, it's just not gonna work. And I actually I have Dursky's conversation with Dursky up at the moment. And I'll have it up on screen in a sec. But essentially, I asked him, Dursky, can you remove ping lock? You know, we're not going to be able to get games. Essentially, just you know, very straightforward. His response is, you'll need to team up with US players in order to find games because there is no users in your region, and your ping is too high to connect to US servers. We're exploring ways to allow players from other regions to join US servers, but these players typically have high pings which tend to ruin the experience for the majority of the players. It kind of scares me a little bit because it almost seems like um, we're kind of an afterthought.
We're essentially a problem. So the better way is just to just remove the higher ping players, which it's baffling.
Yeah, that's like basically saying that we can't play the game though. Like, we may as well just not play the game. And you think about it, like, even Halo 5 has an expanded search setting. It has a balanced search setting and a focus. I mean, if they can implement something like that, I'm sure they can. I don't know how hard it would be, but I'm sure they can do it. Um, yeah, I mean, that would work. Just having search preferences. So if American players only want to play with American players, they can search on focus, exactly, and then it also works in with the 1 to 50 skill ranking system as well. I'm sure you could get it working. I'm gonna play some footage of a 2v2 money twos, like 2v2 money twos, um, Halo 3 match that I played. It was a best of 7 against I think it was a streamer called Kozin and his teammate. I was playing with Niku, but in the end we ended up winning the series, and I think that's like the biggest point I'm trying to get across here is that obviously without being able to connect to US servers we won't be able to play at all, but we can compete against these US players on their host. I mean, Kozin isn't a bad player. It was a very very tense match, and we weren't lagging for them either. Like, if you watch the gameplay from his POV, we're not teleporting. We just look like normal players. So I can't understand that argument that it's going to ruin the experience for the US players when clearly it just looks like a normal game of matchmaking.
Well, everyone wants to move back to MCC, and we see the competitive growth in it and how 343 is starting to kind of support it. And we're looking like we're not going to get infinite for at least mid 19 at the best, 2019. So we can't hold through, like push through with this game if we can't find any players. It's just going to get worse and worse over time. I find it weird that the play sessions we have aren't per region then, because all the times for us are just woeful. So we're never going to find games that we're basing our times off the US. That's never going to happen. There should be play times for every region. Yeah, they have to do something. If they don't recognize this as a problem right now, they will when they relaunch it, and they look back at their stats and go, "Oh, no one from Australia is playing any time outside from 6 to 8 p.m. because we can't."
I didn't see any of this information on Waypoint. And if you're like a casual player, if you're an ANZ like casual player, you're Toasty Peanut 32, you get online after school and you just can't get a match at all. You're like, oh well, the game's broken, I'm not gonna play it, and he'll never come back. We just lost a Halo fan just because he spent his whole afternoon trying to play matchmaking and he couldn't get a game. And there's no information about it at all. There's no information unless you know the right people and are able to get in touch with the right people. Then you're basically doomed.
The thing is, it's going to discourage people no matter what time they get on and play. If you get on at like 12 and you don't find a game, you'll be like, oh shit, you can't find games. And then maybe next time you thought about getting on at 6 and you wanted to play snipers, you're like, oh, I could get on, but it's probably going to take me 10 minutes to find a game.
I can see what my ping is to all the servers. I should just be able to click A, just switch straight to that server. A lot of games can do it. Star Wars Battlefront 2 can do it, and that game's broken as hell. So, it's...
Look, if we're region locked on servers, clearly we're choosing that server when we press A anyway. We just don't know it.
Well, it's going to be the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully we can make a change for the new upcoming MCC update. So, please share this video, give it a like and comment, and I will see you guys in the next one.